So in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this really useful PE gym bag, back to school gym bag. It's a drawstring bag, drawstrings nice and closed. Open it up, it's got a waterproof lining, so it's handy for a swimming bag or for a PE kit, a damp PE kit. Drawstring closed, and then you can actually change the length of the drawstrings and it's ready for back to school. So let's sew a drawstring gym bag. So to make the gym bag, what you're going to need is you're going to need some outer fabric and some lining fabric. I'm using this waterproof fabric, but you can use any lining fabric you like. And they both need to measure 16 inches by 14 inches. So 2 for your outer and 2 for your lining. You'll need 2 tabs, which are 3-inch squares. I've done them to match my outer fabric. And you'll need 4 drawer casing pieces, which are 3 inches by 13.5 inches wide. And you'll also need at least 2 meters of some drawstring cord, or this is paracord because this is also waterproof. So that's what you'll need to make your gym bag. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by making the drawstring cases. So if you take 2 of your pieces, you'll need 4 altogether. If you take 2 of your pieces and put them right sides together, and then using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, you're going to sew back stitch at the beginning and end. So down this end and down this end on both sets of drawstring cases. And I'll meet you back here when you've done that. So once you've done that, if you just press open your seams, flip them round the right way and give them a press like I have done on this one, and then you're going to fold them over like that and give them a press, and that's your drawstring cases finished. So you'll just pop them to one side until you're ready to put them on your outer fabric. So that's the drawstring cases made. Next we're going to make the tabs. So if you get your 2 3-inch squares, and what you're going to do is you're going to fold them in half and then open them out and then fold it in halfway, and then the same the other side, fold it in halfway and then fold it over the top, and then take it to your machine and sew as close to the edge as you can, all the way down this edge and all the way down this edge, to make your tabs for your gym bag. So once you've made your drawstring cases and your tabs, we're ready to make the main bag. So what you want to do is you'll want to get your tabs that you've sewn, fold them in half, and then measuring up 1 inch from the bottom of your bag, you're going to place your tabs on one of the outers and pin or clip, and the same on the other side. And then you want to take that over to your machine and baste it on using a long stitch, just to make sure that it's basted in place. And then once you've done that, what you're going to do is you're going to take your drawstring cases and I'll just take the bottom one out, the one out of the way so you can see. And you're going to centralize them. Now you should have about a 1/2 inch gap either side. That's right. And then clip your drawstring case across the top and baste as close to the edge as you can those drawstring cases on, and you're going to do that for both pieces. So the tabs just go on one piece, but the drawstring cases go on both of the outer pieces. I'll meet you back here. So now we're ready to put our main pieces together. So we've got our outer piece that I've got our tabs on, and we're going to put our drawstring cases on top of our drawstring cases and make sure that everything is lined up beautifully, and then clip all the way around to secure everything in place. And then using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so you should be shy of your drawstring cases. Don't forget to back stitch when you begin, and you're going to sew all the way around down to the bottom and all the way back up to the top again, all the way around your gym bag. You might want to go over your tabs a couple of times just to secure them, but you don't need to leave a gap because we're going to leave a gap in the lining fabric. So once you've sewn your outer, what you need to do is get your lining pieces, and again, right sides together. So for this waterproof fabric, shiny sides together, line them all up, clip. If you are using waterproof fabric, then use clips and not pins, because if you use pins, you'll get holes in it. It's not quite so waterproof anymore. And then what you'll want to do is, again, if starting at the top, so back stitch, so all the way down, but leave a gap of about 4 inches in the bottom for you to be able to turn through your bag when you finished it. So we're going to leave about a 4-inch gap in the bottom. So with your lining sewn with the gap in the bottom, you'll want to turn your outer the right way up, but you'll want to leave your lining inside out, and you're going to put your outer bag inside your lining. So wiggle it in inside, and then make sure that you line up the edges, line up the seams, but keep the drawstring cases inside. Okay, so you'll want to nest these seams here and clip, and nest the seams. Nesting just means you have one seam going one way and one seam going the other way, and then that just seems to want to sit nicely. And then you'll want to clip, once you've done that, you'll want to clip all the way around. Let's just move my Mr. Clippy in so I can clip him. I've made one of these Mr. Clippy's wonder clip holders on another tutorial. So if you fancy making yourself one of these, then like and subscribe my YouTube channel, and you can make yourself this Mr. Clippy. Makes it easier for holding your clips. And then what you're going to do is take it to the sewing machine, and you're going to sew all the way around the edge, and you want to give a 1/4 inch all the way around the edge, all the way around and all the way around. So back stitch at the start, sew all the way around, back stitch at the end. Once you get all the way around, go nice and slow, because it's always difficult going around the outside. If you can take the arm off your sewing machine, it might be easier. If not, you could always sew it from the inside, and I'll meet you back here when you've done that. So once you've done that, what you want to do is you want to pull your bag through your lining. And if you're using waterproof lining, it is a bit kind of noisy, this bit. But if you're just using a cotton lining, you'll find it much easier. And then just poke the corners out. And then when you're happy that everything is fixed, so just make sure that your drawstring channel is fixed correctly and everything's fixed, then what you can do is you can pop this over to the sewing machine and you can close up this gap here. Then once you've done that, you'll need to push it all inside. I'll close up my gap afterwards. Push it all inside. If you're not using waterproof fabric, I suggest that you take it to the ironing board and give it all a good press. If you are using waterproof fabric like me, you'll need to use a pressing cloth so that you don't press the waterproof fabric, because it will melt. And then what you'll want to do is you'll want to take it to the machine and you'll want to top stitch all just around this bit here. So if you pop your foot right up against the edge, then it will sew about 1/8 of an inch all the way around the outside, just so we're securing the lining fabric and the outer fabric together all the way around the outside. And I'll meet you back here when you've done that. So we're almost finished now. All we've got to do is put the drawstrings on. So grab yourself a safety pin or a bodkin or anything else that you use for threading drawstring. I've cut my drawstring in half. As I said, I'm using 2 meters. So I'm using 1 meter for each side. If you're making this for a small child, you might want less. If you're making it for an adult, you might want more. You can change the sizes up on the, if you want to make a smaller drawstring bag for perhaps a toddler or a small child, then just change the dimensions and just make sure that the drawstring channel is 1/2 inch smaller than the width of your bag, and then it'll work. So that's one set, and I'll just pop a pin in the ends of those for now, just to make sure they don't go anywhere. And then, so we've gone through this side, so now we need to go through the other side. All the way through. I find if you push the first one through the top of the drawstring channel and then push the second one through the bottom, they're not fighting with each other. They go through a bit more nicely, if that makes sense. They go through without fighting each other, is what I meant. So all the way through. There we go. So you should end up with 2 sets of drawstring, both about the same length. So what you'll want to do now is one of two things. The drawstring on my trousers keeps wanting to move. It's obviously attracted to the other drawstring. So you can either put both ends together and then pop it through your tabs, and then put a bead or something, or do a knot big enough so it won't go through. Or if you want to be able to lengthen and shorten them, put one through and then knot here. You might want to tidy up your ends. I'll use a lighter to just tidy up those ends. And then that way it makes it easier if you want to alter the drawstrings. And then you can just move the knot around. So pop them through both sides. So you can either knot them together like that, or you can knot them like that. It's entirely up to you how you want to do it. And there is your completed drawstring bag, all ready for back to school. Here's the finished bag. I've tidied up the ends. I've just used a lighter to tidy up the ends of the paracord. And here's the bag all finished. So we've got a lovely waterproof drawstring bag ready for back to school. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Bye for now.